Hello, welcome to Kapow Toys Presents. I'm your host King Grimlock, and today we're going to be taking a look at the recent third-party release of 10 Headmasters, Generation 1 Headmasters. Now, these were copies, I think there's no other way to say it, these are copies of G1 original designs, in the case of Lord Zarak and Spike and Grand Spike and Black Zarak for the Japanese side, and also the very limited release of the Japanese Headmasters in the 3 beasts and the 3 additional characters across the middle there. You get 10 in the pack, and the price varies depending on where you get them from. On eBay at the moment they are going for roughly £150 for the pack. That is a significant amount of money, there is no denying it, but when you consider the price that you would pay for Spike or Lord Zarak alone, it all suddenly seem to become quite affordable. And as I go through it, I will definitely be highlighting certain areas of the value of this package. So, there's the box art. It's all very pretty, and you've got all your characters. Obviously, Lord Zarak, Spike, Grand Max Spike, and Black Zarak, most people will recognise. And then there's Trizer, Shuffler, Leon, Kirk, Ladoni, and Loafer. Headmaster called Kirk, it's awesome, and Shuffler. And shall we take a look at them then? There they are. They are Planet Masters 10 Strongest Warriors. Lord Zarak, Spike, Grand Max Spike, Black Zarak, Loafer, Kirk, Ladoni, Leon, Trizer, and Shuffler. And the first thing I really love about this set, and I really want to highlight about this set, is that the people that have made them a slightly different colour to the original ones, so that you can tell the difference. And I think that is really good of them, because there are unscrupulous bastards out there who are trying to palm these off as the real things on places like eBay. And when you consider that the set of 6 that aren't Zarak and the recognisable ones are going for, you could pay £100 each for them in box. People could make a lot of money by being unscrupulous, so to have the slight colour change is very nice. For example, we'll take a look at Headmaster Spike from Fortress Maximus. Now, unless you had this side by side with another one, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, but the blue is slightly darker on this figure. It's only a minor thing, but it does mean that you can see these knockoffs, and let's be fair, they are knockoffs, unfortunately, against the original toy, and you can notice the difference. But that is the only way you will notice the difference, because the detailing on them is superb. The sculpting is, they're perfectly moulded from the originals. Everything still functions. Everything's got nice solid clicks back into. This is how the Headmasters were back in, back when you originally had them. And there's the head, Cerebros's head, and they do all transform just as they originally would. And that's the nice thing about them, is the fact that if you have lost your Lord Zarak from your Skyponok, and you don't want to be paying the what, £40, £30 to £40 that it will cost you to get an original nowadays, that you cannot guarantee if the arms will do that without snapping off, that it will have that head panel, that the eyes won't have been scratched all up, that won't even, might even have the arms. You can get a very, very close to the original one for significantly less than the actual price, especially when you can factor all of these in. If you were looking for a Spike and a Lord Zarak, you could end up paying the price of this entire box just for those two. And each of them does exactly what you'd expect him to do. They look exactly as they did, and I think that's the great thing about them, is that they have gone to the effort to make these faithful representations of the original ones. Now, I'm kind of rambling while I go through all their transformations, but they are, I just want to show you that these things do exactly. We'll get rid of the 4 main ones, shall we? And then we'll have a look at the ones that maybe you guys haven't seen that often before, the more rare Japanese only releases. This is Loafer, probably the greatest name for a Transformer, of a Headmaster of all time, or any Transformer really. Really nice detailing all over him, but it's a completely different aesthetic to the original Generation 1 Headmasters. He's much thinner in the leg area and much longer in the torso. The arms also seem shorter and somewhat thinner. Now these characters, I can't remember if they appeared or not. I do believe they did in the cartoon. Individual leg bend there as well. In the Headmasters series, but they are really nicely done, these six, and they are so hard to get hold of. There you go, there's Loafer's head. Really nice sculpting on it, really nice detailing, all the points all the way around it, and these two big jutting parts out. And all of these do fit into your standard Headmaster unit. So if you have a spare Headmaster, again, these are worth picking up. It's really hard for me to not recommend them because all it is doing is replacing or giving you the opportunity to own different ones. This is Leone. Oh, fold the spikes down to cover his face. Some of them aren't the best design, for example that one. But they just look that little bit different. Again, this guy's got a very different body structure to the original Headmasters. The arms coming up higher, and everything still works perfectly. The sculpt detail's lovely. Fold him up. Fold him up. It's much the same. And there you have Leone's head. It's really hard not to recommend them. The price is the thing that's going to break people. The price is going to break people for buying what is essentially a knockoff. This guy, I love Kirk. He looks fantastic. And yeah, it is essentially a knockoff, and that is always a disappointment. But what you're getting for your money is amazing. Could you buy 10 Headmasters in mint condition for 150 quid? Touch and go. To be honest, could you buy just the heads by themselves? Touch and go, you may well be able to. But 10 of the rarest ones, probably not. These are for your... Sorry about that, technical hitch. Keep you having those at the moment. Anyway, as I was saying, these are quite clearly to me aimed at the more hardcore collector. That person who has got everything they want to get, really. But maybe can't afford to splash... I would hate to think how much these 10 would cost you in the original versions. And I'm seeing the people that have picked them up, they definitely fall into the hardcore collector category. They are well worth it though. Oh, I really like them, and I almost loathe to show you things like these guys up close, the animal ones, and show you the transformations of them. Purely because I want you to go out and get them, and I want you to be able to enjoy them as well. And they are supremely detailed little things, brilliantly designed. With great little transformations. You know, it's simple. It's a Headmaster. These things are tiny. But when you have something like Head Robots releasing their stuff at the moment as replacement Headmasters, it's nice to have a different version of that, to have a G1 styled version of those things. There you go, there's Leone in his head mode, if I could actually get those bits up and out of the way. Some of these don't fit the greatest, that's roughly his head mode. These don't come with instructions, I should point that out straight away, hence why some of these probably don't look anything like they're supposed to. Trizer. It'd be very difficult for me to not say to everybody I know, go out and buy these guys, because they're really nicely done, and they're, as I say, I'm wittering to fill time while I do these transformations. But the detailing on them is superb, the transformations are all nice and fluid, the workmanship, the actual QC on them is sublime. I've left my favourite to last, Shuffler. Oh, I love this guy, the design aesthetic is beautiful, a little bit of articulation to the trunk, even though it's part of the transformation, that's why he's got it. And he just looks the part, he looks the dog's nogs, this guy. With a great little transformation as well. I'm surprised how much I like them. I always like when I saw them, I liked the idea of them. I think that was more what got me, is I like the idea of having these guys, and I'm trying to remember which way up he goes. I like the idea of what these guys were. You know, the fact that you could fill these gaps in your collection without having to break the bank. There we go, there's Shuffler and his head mode. Look how big his head is. That is one big head. And yeah, without having to break a massive amount in the bank, you could fill your collection. You could get these exclusive and rare Headmasters. This has been a really odd review. It doesn't feel like a review as such, as me kind of whittering through so I could transform them and show them off. And I can't say anything less than I would recommend these to anybody who has Headmasters without heads, or who is looking for someone to fill the gap. If you don't have a Zarak and a Spike, these guys are as good, if, you know, better. because these are new, these are solid, all the joints are nice, everything's tight, the QC is superb, the pins are, none of them are rusted. It's, everything about it is really well done. And kudos to the company that did these. I absolutely adore them. I think they look fantastic. They look wonderful on the shelf in their robot modes, and they all work as heads as well. If you're going to pick these up separately, you would be paying a small fortune. So to pay what is being asked for them on eBay is, you know, it's a lot of money, but you're getting a lot for your money. My concern is, and I'd like to highlight to everybody, that there are people out there who are trying to sell these as the real thing. Be very careful, because a lot of them out there now, they're not. These packs have been bought and split down, so keep an eye on what you're buying if you're looking for a Lord Zarak or a Spike. Anyway, this has been a wittering review. It's been a witter. It's been just an utter witter. I've been King Grimlock. These have been the 10 Planet Masters 10 Strongest Warriors set. 10 of the best Headmasters you will ever see. And we will see you next time for something a little bit more unbiased.
This feeling lately, you and I could lose this soon if we